Daggerfall! Okay. There must be some sort of a human opponent nearby that's preventing me from healing, because like I said before, humans don't really make a sound to alert you to their position. For whatever reason, they don't make any noise. And what I mean by they don't make any noise is that like the only sounds that they make are like when they're swinging their weapon or something like that. Or if they're casting a spell. They don't like taunt, they don't make any kind of... They don't like shout or scream or even really chat. Ah, fuck. One of these slopes. I'm developing a theory that the mere act of recording is causing DOSBox to stutter in such a way that it's making certain glitches more common. I don't know why that would be happening. It's there. Oh shit! Don't do that! That legitimately scared the crap out of me. Okay, so... What was I talking about? These are both steel, despite different appearances. So... I was talking about how... Oh yeah, by the way, it makes no sense that a mage would be carrying a steel cuirass, but whatever. So yeah, I've developed a theory that the mere act of recording DOSBox is making certain glitches more common. Because it seems like certain glitches just happen more when I'm fucking recording. And that might be because of DOSBox itself, it might be because of Audacity. You know, I mentioned before that I've updated my computer a few times, and that seems to have introduced a few bugs that weren't there before. So in the future, I'm going to stick with LTS releases. The problem is that Ubuntu's release cycle is such that I have to wait for a full year before I have a long-term support release and hopefully have more stability. Oh no, I'm silenced. That means I won't be able to cast spells. That will cripple me, because of course spellcasting is my strength. As you can tell by the fact that a simple heal spell for basically non-spellcasters completely empties out my spell points. Why are so many people in this dungeon carrying steel cuirasses? Jesus Christ. I need a bag of holding. Ah, man. See, now this is a problem, because this is worth a lot of money, but I can't carry it without dropping something else. Maybe I should be increasing my strength, but I'm trying to spend my experience points optimally. Do I need these flowers for anything? No. Okay, so the greaves that I'm currently wearing are steel. These are also steel. I don't think I really need a backup pair of greaves, though, and if I did, I wouldn't really be able to carry them. I don't want to lose these magic items either. Vampiric effect when strikes. Actually, do I need the mace? I mean, it's not like we're having a problem with killing things fast enough. I'll keep it around just in case we get to like a higher level enemy that I can't just like spam a bunch of saves at until I kill it. Okay, so what else can we drop to... This weighs 0.5 kilograms. So I only need to free up half a... Oh shit, I just bought my mic. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so the green leaves are for chameleon form. I don't really need that. Fuck, dude. How much do these weigh? Total weight 11.25 kilograms. I mean, I did spend like 6 gold pieces to get 15 more arrows, but I'm not really using as many... Whoop. I'm an idiot. Although, to be fair, this game is still being dumb by not consistently doing thing. See, the thing is, I can't drop like a certain amount of arrows. I have to pick them all up and drop them as a single stack, which is retarded. Fuck. Alright, well, if I drop the cuirass, it'll allow me to pick up more stuff. So, I guess in general, carrying the cuirass around was a bad idea. Oh well. Alright. So yeah, I mentioned in my Arena Let's Play that at the time that Skyrim came out, I was really annoyed because dragons were not really a part of the games before, and it was established in the lore that dragons were either all killed off or ridiculously uncommon, like a seriously endangered species. I think only 2 really appeared in the main series game. Well, one appeared in Redguard, And then Parthenux was revealed to have been alive this entire time. So there were like maybe 2 still alive in all of Tamriel. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know if you count. There's like 1 that appears in Daggerfall. Spoiler alert, but I think he's just a dragonling. But yeah, it did occur to me that, like, you know, the lore in the Elder Scrolls hasn't really been entirely consistent. Like, for example, what gods exist wasn't really clearly established until Daggerfall, and even then there's a big question mark on whether they're actually gods. Or, you know, it's sort of unclear whether or not they actually exist, except for the fact that that you happen to be... Ah! This is the guy I was looking for. Ekta's Chantry wins. All I ever wanted to do was free the dragons. The Dragon Slayer is dead. Can we all just appreciate how cheesy this dialogue is right now? Alright. So, he's fucking dead. Did he have any good loot on him? An Elven Broadsword. That's not too bad. I'll take that. Steel Longbow. Steel Mace. How is it possible that the guy we spent all this time trying to find was the guy with, like, the least loot on him? I like how, just by coincidence, he happened to be in, like, this library room, which seems to imply that this guy must have, like, really done his research and led an interesting life. That's one of the things that I like about the temple quests, actually, in the Elder Scrolls, about the temple quests in Daggerfall, is that, like I mentioned before, that there's a big question mark on whether or not the gods are, like, actually gods, and like, aside from the fact that you happen to play as heroes that directly interact with godly matters, as far as the average citizen of Tamriel is concerned, it's not really entirely clear whether the gods actually exist. They're sort of non-interventionalist for the most part. There's actually sort of an interesting component to the temple quests in Daggerfall, which is that it sort of works with the fact that the temples might be wrong. You know, they might not have the right idea about what their god wants. They might be misreading holy texts and stuff like that. And some of the temple quests involve, like, tracking down and punishing heretics. You know, people who read the holy texts and simply interpreted them differently than the mainstream interpretation. And I like that stuff, because that's the kind of thing that happens in real life. Or, it used to be more common in the past, but... you know, like, heretics were a thing that happened in real life, but in a lot of fantasy settings, where the gods directly interfere with the setting all the time, it doesn't really make any sense to have heretics, because everybody knows who's in charge. You know what I mean? So it makes sense that... So, you know, I don't know, what I'm trying to say is, the temples in Daggerfall feel like real religious centers, in the sense that they have the same conflicts that real religious centers would have had throughout history. And so there's, like, for example, there's a quest where you have to take down a false prophet. And up until, like, midway through the quest, it's really not clear if he actually is a false prophet, or if he's a real prophet, and it just so happens that what God has been telling him is simply different from what the temple has been led to believe all this time. And so, you know, it has an interesting uncertainty to the proceedings. And you don't really get that in the later games because, well, I mean, in Morrowind, I guess you do, because, you know, like Dagoth-Ur and Vivek and people like that aren't really gods. They're just super powerful mortals. But, like, in certain of the future games, you basically talk directly to gods. And so it's less interesting, in my opinion, because the gods are definitely there, and so there's no real mystery, you know. So now, obviously, I'm not talking about, like, the Daedra, because the Daedra, well, actually, the Daedra do kind of contribute to this too, because the Daedra are sort of like, they want people to think they're gods because that gives them more power, and in a way, they sort of are gods, but they're treated more like demons. You know, they're treated as if they're false gods, but really they're just they're less powerful than the Aedra, but really they are just other types of spirits, and to a certain extent they do have godly powers. So it's not like they're just pulling this out of their asses. You know, they do have actual power, and you can actually think of them as gods and technically not be wrong. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's making any sense, or if I'm just rambling, but you know, it's just it makes joining the temple and doing quests for the temple more interesting in Daggerfall, I think, than in the later games in the series.